And we ended up getting recruited into a cult
That's how it always happens.
on accident.
We just wanted more friends, and now you're in a cult.
Yeah.
Tate McRae is. I've never heard a single one of her songs.
I don't know who that is either.
But I guess she's like the biggest thing since.
Okay.
Is she an industry plant? Is she not an industry plant? Can we sound off if anyone? Are there any tater? Are they? I think someone called them tater tots. Are there taters?
Wait, that's such an iconic name. Damn.
I feel like
Tater
I know.
Tots, that's really cute.
I love McNugs though.
I do too.
Well, anyways, I don't know how to feel about Tate McRae, and I don't know any of her music. So,
do you want to know what Bethy's day 5 of the Sexy Wife 12 Days of Christmas is?
I couldn't guess any of the other ones, so I'm sure I would be wrong if I did try.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's like dress up.
I swear to God, if you sit here and tell me that her advice is to dress up as Mr. and Mrs. Claus, I'm going to leave the room right now.
No. It's kind of worse though.
Don't say elves.
No.
I don't remember elves. Were there any sexy dobbies this year? I wonder.
Oh,
There's always sexy dobby.
Yeah. Okay, so her tip is to create a sexy outfit for each other using only Christmas decorations from around the house. Best outfit wins.
So, like, are you starting in the nude?
But, like, wins what, Bethy?
Sex, I guess.
What are we winning?
It sounds like we want to have sex, but with so many extra steps.
Well, but also, like, why is everything a competition? It's almost, it feels very childlike. You know, like the, like, very teenager thing of, like, when you don't know how to relate to someone, you're like, let's play a game. You know? Like, it's just very adolescent.
I don't know how to,
I know. Well, and I think, I don't know, because I also.
There's so many thoughts.
Like, the sort of, like, funny, like, we talk all the time about how, like, you know, people should take themselves less seriously in regards to sex and that it's meant to be, like, fun and, like,
yes, enjoyable.
Like, having
and, like,
silly, funny, fun times.
Less performance, more
Yeah, like, that's a
each other's
good
company.
thing.
Yes.
But also, I can't imagine being, like, just walk around the house naked with me while I
look
undo
for,
our
also, are we
Christmas
undoing things that are already, or, like, do we have, like, a...
I would
like
be so mad at
like
you.
a chop style of ingredients.
Yeah, are we going to the Dollar Tree?
Splayed in front as we... Also, we're using tape. How are we affixing these things
Actually,
to our...
that's a good question.
Like, what are the actual physical logistics of this?
Yeah, how does that work exactly?
Because
I'm also
I
just
picture lots of
imagining
tape.
people with kids being like, why are you guys walking around the house? What are you doing?
Also, like, how well are you creating these things? Because, like, how are you able to move?
To take them off, too? I have so many questions.
I would say if you didn't,
I think I'll stick with,
that'd
like,
be more surprising.
pre-made lingerie. I do really want to buy that bra that looks like a Christmas present.
Oh, from a dormy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. Mostly just because I get so many ads for it.
I've never seen. I can't tell if it's just
so
you
comfy.
or
it's
your algorithm figured out that you had breast reduction surgery and they said ad.
Probably because of the way that I drowned my sorrows during my recovery when I was, like, feeling very stuck was
by looking at bras.
looking at all of the things that I could buy after I was done with recovery.
Do we have any updates this last week? Have you had any fun? Oh, shit. Pumpkin, you're so close. You're almost there.
I haven't done my stretches
and I think,
today.
Was this your first week of sleeping on your stomach all week?
Yeah.
Congrats.
For those of you who don't know, I'm a stomach sleeper, and not being able to sleep on my stomach has been murder. Ooh. I've been sleeping like ass, but I'm finally sleeping a little bit better, which actually is a perfect segue.
What are we?
For our episode topic.
What's our episode?
We're in our jammies today. We're having a pajama party episode because we're talking about dreams today.
And why are we talking about our dreams today?
Because I keep a dream journal because a friend recommended it to me and I was like, hey, that's a really good idea, actually. Because I've had weird, fucked up dreams for like
our whole life.
There's been
all
a lot
your
of
medication?
Yeah.
Not all your medication. Specifically the ADHD.
Yeah, you make it sound like I'm on, I'm taking horse pills every
but especially
day.
from when you're on your surgery recovery.
Yeah, the surgery recovery meds, I think, definitely added a different flavor to things.
Absolutely.
But no, I've also had just like weird nightmares for a really long time. We're not talking about nightmares today, to be clear.
We're having fun.
Yeah, this is not a spooky vibes. But yeah, I felt like that would be kind of fun. Also because this, I don't know, have I told you this? I don't know if I've told you this, but like this is probably one of the things that therapists get asked most often.
Oh, about
which
your
is
dreams?
like, can you interpret my dream for me? And like, no, I don't know how to, that's like, that is a thing.
Yeah.
That's like a sort of like new age, like metaphysical, like sort of woo
Oh,
thing.
so someone does do that.
There are people who do dream interpretations and stuff like that, which is like valid in its own right.
Doesn't surprise me, but
it's not like therapy. It's not clinical, but I think it's like a sort of fun,
it's like interesting
hobby thing. Sure. You know, like in school, it's not like we had a class.
No, of course not. Of like
dream interpretation.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, like that's literally one of the most common questions is people being like, oh, I had this really weird dream. Can I talk to you about it? And I'm always like, yeah, I mean, yes. Like you're welcome to talk about whatever you want, but like, I don't know that I'm going to have a good answer for you.
I know. What do you even do with that if someone gives like some off the wall shit? Like, also it reminds me of those ones where like my boyfriend broke up with me in my dream.
Yes.
And now I'm mad at him.
Yeah. Do you want to know a secret about
me
therapists?
or the audience or
both?
Yeah, I'll speak for us. Yes, we would like to know the secret.
Anytime stuff like that happens, when someone's like, "Can you help me interpret my dream?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Even after you tell me, and I'm like, I don't know what the answer is. You just ask questions.
Oh yeah,
what does that mean to you?
I feel like it's
is there something that comes up?
Yes.
Does that remind you of something?
I feel like it's
How
that
are
parody.
You feeling about the thing?
That parody in movies or whatever, when there's someone doing like a psychic reading or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yes, tell me about your dad." And their name starts with
a P.
D.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
No. Usually, if I'm like not really understanding what somebody's trying to like get at, I'm like, what do you think?
I feel like that probably solves most things, is just asking questions.
Yeah. Well, especially because people come to therapy oftentimes with like a preconceived notion of what they think the problem is. And it's helpful for people to have space to air that out.
Yeah, of course.
You know? And like diagnosis is an imperfect science anyways, and sometimes it takes us time.
It's kind of subjective when you think about it.
Yeah. No,
I mean, obviously based around parameters.
No, yeah, there's like
DSM-5,
there's
course,
like objective criteria, but it's still like it's sort of amorphous in nature. It's not like medical diagnosis.
When would you say you started keeping your dream journal?
I know the answer to that actually because I keep it in my notepad on my phone.
And I remember
it logs the dates on everything.
Because I remember you starting it. Mm-hmm. And you used to spend, you haven't been doing it as much lately, but you used to spend some time. Like, so you have some very vivid dreams.
The first entry that I have in here is September 13th of 2023.
Oh, so it's not too long.
Yeah, no, just a few months ago.
How long do you think you're is this a hyperfixation, or are we keeping, is this a long term?
Probably. I think I'd like to be more like up to date on it.
Yeah.
But also it is just kind of like, it's very much a muscle memory thing. Like if you don't do it quickly, regularly, then you just like forget about it. But
you were saying there by the end though, were you able to like? I know they talk about when you write down your dreams and stuff
like
in your REM sleep,
dreaming.
and like yeah. Did you notice
dreaming
that?
Scares the fuck out of me though.
Because you said you started becoming aware when you were dreaming.
Yeah. Which like normally I am, especially when I'm having like weird dreams.
Yeah.
There will be like an errant thought in there every now and again of like, oh, I can't wait to wake up and talk to Aaron about this. And so usually like there's just a different feeling to it. I can tell that I'm dreaming. But it's not like lucid dreaming. I guess for those of you who don't know, lucid dreaming is like when you're able to control the outcome of your dreams and you can like change them while it's happening. And like I can't really do that.
Okay.
But there would be times where I'd be more aware of like myself in my dreams, and I could like sort of control myself more as opposed to just like watching myself. Because a lot of my dreams,
top down.
A lot of my dreams happen from like bird's eye view.
Do most people dream bird's eye? Are people having first person?
I don't know.
Does anyone here dream in first person?
I'm sure they do. People, you would be surprised. People
I feel
have
like I do sometimes.
Really? Actually, that's true. I do too sometimes, actually.
I think it switches, yeah.
I think the thing, though, is it's almost like, for me, it's almost like playing a first-person video game.
Okay.
Where, like, most of it you're experiencing from the first person, but you can still, like, you know how, like, in Baldur's, you can, like, sort of move the camera to, like, see. It's like that, sort of.
You're, like, floating, kind of.
Yeah, like, it's mostly from first person, but I can still sort of, like, see things around me that I wouldn't be able to see.
Like being a ghost, almost.
Yeah, it is like being a ghost.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, all of that to say, I would tell Aaron sometimes about the stuff I'd write down in my dream journal.
Because sometimes you just could not. Like,
yes, because they're weird. And you thought it was really funny, and I thought it'd be fun to share on the podcast, especially because people seem to ask therapists about dreams
all the time.
A lot.
I mean, you did find some research, didn't you, that they actually dreams
I did.
Do actually correlate with
Hold, please.
Holding.
Also, can we just acknowledge that you are not wearing actual jammies?
Yes, I am.
I'm wearing my actual jammies.
I'm technically wearing. I bought new clothes and I wanted to share them.
I think you look
with
really
everyone
cute
on the pod.
But I just want to be clear that Aaron doesn't sleep in like a hood and like.
I don't know how
pants.
people. It must be when people film reality shows, like dating shows and stuff, and they're like dressed the fuck up. I'm like, either they live somewhere cold where you could actually wear.
Which
it's like cold here too, but
still,
like not.
You would have the heater on. No,
I know. I don't know how where I have to sleep one
Without
step
a
away from
shirt.
the nude. Like I don't know how people sleep with like if it gets caught.
I don't know.
It must
I could
be
never wear like
neurotypical people
like pants like this to sleep in. Not that. No.
Oh no, or like
These
I don't know
are my
how
like pajama
socks?
lounge pants. Yeah.
Do we have sock sleepers in the chat with us?
I'm sure that we do, but it's just not for me. It's a sensory nightmare.
It's a debated topic at my place of work. Socks or no socks to bed.
Yeah, your friend got clowned on for wearing socks to bed, which to be fair, it's
for
weird.
not wearing someone else's.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if this
weird.
is like a discussion or a Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it is. I'm sure we've already offended somebody in the
I'm
comments
sure.
by saying
And please let us know if you're feeling offended, please.
we don't sleep with socks on. I just don't like it. Do you know
I run kind of hot.
Wait. Do you know what cricket legs is?
Oh, when you do the little, it's like it's a very like ADHD or
It's like very autistic coded. Yeah, but it's like a self-soothing thing where you like rub your legs or your feet especially together when you're sleeping.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
I do that all the time.
I don't do that.
Can't
No,
help it.
I know you do. I know. I can hear you like you're trying to start a little fire over there or something.
It's just soothing.
No, it makes sense.
Helps me fall
But if you had socks on,
asleep.
you wouldn't get the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like my socks, the seams would get unaligned.
Oh my god.
If I was moving my feet like that, which is awful.
What actually would happen is you'd sleep with them for like 30 minutes, kick them off in the middle of the night, and by the end of the week we'd have a pile of socks at the end of the bed that you'd have no idea where they were, and then you'd go, honey, where's my where's my socks?
Where did you do laundry?
No, the laundry fairy hasn't done them yet.
Yeah. No, you hate when I do that, when I leave stuff in the sheets.
Oh my god. Yeah,
it drives you nuts. I used to do that all the time in college, though. I would move stuff in my sheets all the time, and it didn't matter.
I don't want to touch your socks and your used socks.
Why? They're not like crusty or gross.
They're
I
not clean.
change them every day.
I mean, you. Anyways, what did you learn about?
Yeah, so
Tell us.
there's a Time article that I'll link in the description that just talks about some of the relevant research around dreams. Obviously, every major figurehead in psychology has their own very niche perspective
of course.
about what dreams mean and all of this stuff. But it seems like from the empirical data that we can gather, there's not necessarily a clear-cut consensus about what dreams are for or why we dream. But our best guess is that it helps our hippocampus, which is our memory storage.
We did a whole video about that.
I was going to say, if you watched our horror movie video, then you'll remember that term. But our hippocampus is what helps us with memory storage.
Yeah.
So it seems like dreams might serve the purpose of helping us like data dump essentially from short term to long term, because you can see your neurofrontal cortex come online when you're dreaming, and then your hippocampus. So it seems like there's almost this sort of concerted effort to like file transfer kind
No, honestly, like downloading it sounds like just switching from one.
Yeah, one of the quotes from the article is that we dream to forget, which I thought was really funny.
We dream to forget.
Meaning that like it's your brain's way, potentially, your brain's way of basically getting something off of your short-term mind. Because if you think about like short-term versus long-term storage in the brain. Short-term is the stuff that like when you stop consciously focusing on it, you lose it.
Of course.
Long-term is things that like you don't have to be constantly recalling it in order to have that memory. So like
your first
I don't
birthday
remember.
Or so, like,
I don't think about my first birthday really. I don't know that I remember that, but like fair enough. But I can still recall details of that if you ask me to. And so that's what long-term storage is. And so by transferring it from short-term to long-term, it helps us to sort of like consciously like forget about it, so that it's just stored like back there, so that you can recall it if you need to. But otherwise, it's your brain's way of like clearing your cache, basically, to like wipe clean.
We don't need that anymore.
We're starting again. Isn't that cool?
No, that is fucking nuts. Do you remember what is your farthest back?
My earliest memory?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've heard some people have some like crazy.
Okay, so let me think. So I know for sure that my earliest memory is pre-kindergarten, because my brother is 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And I remember my mom was an employee at the school my brother and I went to elementary school at, but before she was an employee there, she volunteered in my brother's first grade class.
Oh.
And I know distinctly, I was not in school at the time. So I must have been 4 when I was helping her volunteer. We were making Christmas ornaments. You know the ones where you crush up a big like Weetabix thing, and then a Weetabix, like the frosted wheats. It's a thing. Don't give me that face. That's a real thing. Like a frosted wheat, but it's a big one. I'm going to Google it.
I am so sorry that I don't... A Weetabix?
Yes,
Weetabix.
it's a... Wheat...
Weetabix.
Weetabix. Yeah, it's like it's a British thing. See? You see? They're more popular in the UK than they are in the United States, but you can buy them here. And kindergarten and first grade teachers would buy the big ones because instead of doling out like 1 cup of fucking frosted whatever the fuck, you give them one big one and you like smash the fuck out of this in your little bowl, Timmy, and like then everybody just gets one instead of having to like.
Okay, so what do you do with it?
So you crush it
up.
Yeah,
keep telling me the memory.
So we were making these Christmas ornaments where you crush up this wheat thing. And you mix it with glue that had been dyed with green food coloring. Okay. So that it makes, and then you style it into like a little circle, like a little wreath. And then you put the little red hots on there to be like the holly, and you make a Christmas ornament out of it. You take
all this perfectly good food and you make it inedible.
But it's cheap. That's why you do it as a craft, because you just put like PVA glue in there. Yeah. And food coloring, and then you put one of the kids' pictures. Everybody has their like class pictures. You put the picture in the back, and then so you have this little wreath with your kid's face in it. Do you still have
that? Does that
exist? My mom does. I'll show you when we go to my mom's house for Christmas.
Way.
I'm so serious.
Okay, I want to see
I
this.
have one that I made that day in that class with them, but it wasn't a school photo because I wasn't in school yet. It's just like a home picture that my mom had of me, my little pigtails. I look so cute, little queen. And she brought this picture because she was volunteering in that class, and she was like, do you mind if I bring my daughter? And like, we don't have childcare. Yeah. And she was like, of course, it's crafting day. Like, we'd love to have you, and she can come.
Oh my goodness.
Just bring a picture. Yeah.
That's so precious.
That's probably the earliest memory that I have, which was probably like 4.
Yeah. I feel like mine's a little similar or close. It was either like a birthday party. Okay. I remember like a cake and a dinosaur. And I don't have like, your memory was so incredibly vivid and specific.
That's
you have
my
a
brain.
Picture that you've seen of this though.
Yes. Every year I would put it on my parents' Christmas tree. I'm so for real.
I feel like I can remember. Also, I think, or I don't remember how early this was either, but I remember in our backyard at one of my parents' first house. Yeah. They had like a camper lid, that you put on the back of a truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the thing, but like just sitting in the back. Yeah. And I could go crawl under it, and it was like full of weeds and stuff or whatever.
That's so cute.
Just like play pretend fucking little like
you're in a little
army
adventure.
or a little fucking like a little bunker.
That's so cute. You're like I'm Indiana
dirt.
Jones.
Oh no, honestly, yeah. And it'd be summer, so just hot as fuck, just sweating, getting covered in dirt.
Adorable.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably one of, but I have no idea how old.
That's so funny.
Or like,
I have memories from kindergarten and stuff too. I remember being little, I was obsessed with mud pies. I was like fixated. And so me and the neighborhood kids, because all of the neighborhood kids were friends.
You talk about the neighborhood kids like a little street gang.
Yes, because our parents were all friends.
No, of course.
So our house would be like here, and then our neighbor's house, and then the neighbor over here, and then there's like 2 houses in between, but then there's another house. Yeah. All of those parents were friends, and they would get together and like after work, right? Yes. When everybody would get home from work, they would sit on my parents' driveway in their patio chairs and drink beer and watch their kids ride up and down the street on our bikes.
Honestly,
like that was what I did after school almost every day.
That sounds
for
honestly,
like years.
That's like the nostalgia when people are like talking about like, oh wow, it's not like that anymore. And like that's that shit. That's that shit that's real.
Yes. Like I have so many memories of like being in my backyard at my parents' house and making mud pies with all the neighborhood kids. And because I'm a bossy little shit, I was like, I run the bakery. We're making mud pies. And so I bossed.
You said I'm not making the mud pies. Y'all are making the mud pies.
Yes, yeah. And I would like put little price stickers on them.
I don't know that. Also, speaking of your little Weetabix.
It's a thing.
So you had to have the hardest time not wanting to eat this thing.
I distinctly remember actually not really finding it that enticing.
But when you found Polly Pockets, that's when it really took off.
Because it's a textural thing. Chewing on, I can guarantee you that people in the comments know what I'm talking about. I know. Chewing on Polly Pocket clothes was just a peak experience of like growing up in the early 2000s.
I think the closest thing I did was like we used to have headphones that recorded. So you had to
chew on your headphones?
Not the headphones, the part that goes in your ear, the cord. I could just...
Right, but I'm a weirdo. You're a little rat.
Little rat, yeah, hell yeah. Speaking of little rats, tell me some more about these dreams.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of these dreams.
Read me. Oh, it's like a good bedtime story. Buckle up.
It is.
Sit down. Shut up.
Which one?
Grab a nice cup of cocoa.
Yeah, everybody sit down and shut the fuck up. The show is about to begin.
Get your cup of
your cuppa.
Your cuppa.
We were playing Baldur's Gate and the
evil playthrough is so hard to do.
Oh, we're having a terrible time. Yeah, Aaron's not a mean person.
I think this is the perfect way to just like, when people are like, how do I know if I'm not a serial killer and I just haven't killed anyone yet, but I secretly am a serial killer,
secretly bad on
and I
the
don't
inside.
know, and I'm actually an evil person, play the evil playthrough in Baldur's, and you will very quickly find out whether you're cut out to be an evil person.
It's so hard. Like, I can sort of get my brain into a place where I'm like, okay, it's just a game. It's just a game. Like, they're fake people. I'm not really hurting anybody's feelings. Also, I'm reading through some of these for the first time. And I'm like, I'm so glad.
I think it's the most funny. We should
that
blind
I
read
wrote
them.
these down because I'm like, what the fuck?
You should blind read some without proofreading it, and if we don't like it, we'll just cut it.
Cool. Because also, too, just as a fair warning, I'm not going to describe any of my nightmares. Like, I don't tend to write those down.
Of course.
But sometimes my dreams are a little dark. So there might be stuff that's like a little bit graphic or like a little bit disturbing in these. So if that's a button for you, just fair fucking warning.
Have a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Like.
My brain is, I'm traumatized.
I know.
I'm a traumatized
it's not your
girly.
Fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's really not. Okay, I'm going to read you this one from October 8th.
Okay.
Because
October 8th? Okay.
I saw a word in here that it's because at the time we were playing Baldur's Gate a lot.
Oh, fun.
Which I feel like is a really good segue. Okay. Also, to be clear, these are stream of consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sometimes I just voice memo them. Yeah, these aren't like well written. Okay. So I think early on before the dream shifts, Aaron and I are in a car driving across a big metal bridge in the middle of nowhere. And I asked a question about something related to safety or how people used to get around or whatever. And then we see one of Aaron's coworkers in a car.
Do you remember which coworker?
No. Some shitty beat up old car driving toward, I think anytime that I'm like not specific in my like write-ups, it's because I don't know who it was. Like if I know who the person is, then I'll name them usually. But what happens for me a lot of times in dreams is that I just like have this like understanding that like we know who this person is, but it's like either not a real person, but their role is just
your
like
brain,
made
your
clear.
brain doesn't care enough to paint.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but we see one of Aaron's coworkers in a car in some like it's like very shitty beat up old car driving towards the bridge on the ground really far away from us. The bridge, oh my God, I remember this. The bridge also wasn't bridging a gap or suspended over a chasm. It was like a metal bridge like the one in the Grim Forge in Baldur's, but it was just suspended over this dirt desert area. So it's almost like a crane. Like, you can tell that we were playing Baldur's Gate because my brain is like, this structure specifically. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly where we're at now.
Like, it's like an L-shaped thing. It's not like a bridge necessarily, but it's almost like a crane.
Yes.
And it's just like over this weird desert area, apparently.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Wait, oh my God. Please tell me I did not just delete my dreams. It's just like gone.
All of them?
Oh no. Okay, it's fine. I almost had a heart attack. I was like, my dreams are gone.
You just destroyed the whole episode.
So I didn't mean to.
iPhones should not be this, like...
I
feel like it's way too easy
barely touched it, and it was like, goodbye. Okay.
I have never been so stressed.
I just thought I deleted all of my dream journal.
I was like, well, I guess we could make some up.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So then your coworker who's driving towards us in this shitty beat up old car on the like desert.
Yeah.
We're like suspended on this bridge thing. Their car hits one of the support beams for the bridge, and then the whole thing like slowly falls, and we hit the ground, still inside this car. And you got hurt really bad. See, this is what I'm saying. Some of my dreams are so dark.
What happened to you? Did you save me?
You had really bad wounds and needed help. I remember thinking about finding pain meds or antibiotics for him. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
October 8th.
This is because I save any like extra medication that we ever have because I have this deep-seated fear about an apocalypse.
If there's an apocalypse, call us the apocalypse because we're going to be popping pills left and right.
I save things if we ever don't need them just in case we end up in a
We'll be the pharmacy.
Zombie apocalypse.
I think this is your weird way of taking back that you almost wanted to be a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And so like we could have a little pharmacy.
Hoarding like allergy meds and like
we got good stuff.
Ibuprofen.
Don't act like with all the surgeries you've had, we have some hard shit.
Okay, so I remember thinking about finding pain meds or antibiotics for him or something and decided to take him to this new place that I'd found so that maybe this was after the opening of the dream. I don't know what that means. So I was able to drag him. Oh my God. Yeah, we made it to the Grove. Like the Grove in Baldur's Gate. I like dragged you through.
Also, the bridge thing and the crashing. I wonder if that was the time period when we were watching all of those videos on TikTok when they send the car. They do the car test.
Oh my God.
They do the car test where they see like the
man
gravity.
Who's like, would I survive?
Joop, come on, Joop. Yeah, and they the gravity of the different vehicles, or like they have the death trap thing, and they see how fast they can make the car through. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, what I'm learning from this is that I'm fixated on Baldur's Gate, and also I have a lot of anxiety about you dying.
Okay. There's probably something we could unpack there, but
yeah. So we made it to this canteen, and
there's a canteen, like a Star Wars canteen.
Yeah. Star Wars canteen.
Star Wars canteen.
Okay, so people who are chasing after us are bad people, and they're the ones who want me to wear the canteen. What?
Is it like, so like I'm picturing like, is it a canteen or like a cantina and it's tiny and so you put it on your head? Are you like a giant? And are these people?
I don't know.
They wear the canteen.
I don't know. And that's the end. That's all that I wrote.
I want to know so much more. These are like those little short stories like Love, Death, and Robots or whatever.
Yes.
Where I'm like, I want more. What is that? What's coming back for you now? Like reading that out loud or like what? Also, October 8th. Had you had surgery yet? Or
No. That was like a week before surgery.
Okay.
Here, do you want me to read you one from after surgery?
Oh, most definitely.
These are crazy. Oh, no.
Read it.
Oh, God. Okay, this one's so stressful. Okay, so this was pretty early after surgery. This was October 22nd.
Okay.
So this dream starts with me being in a city hall and dunking on some crazy anti-feminist dude who's trying to gotcha me.
I
don't remember that at all.
Trying to gotcha you.
I don't know.
I wish I could watch your dreams.
I know, me too. We went home and there was a huge medieval thing with bark gathering from a tree. Oh, it looks like the Susser tree. And an end of the world explosion. I don't know what that means. However,
end of the world explosion? Like a mushroom cloud? Like an atomic bomb explosion?
But my favorite is that after that happened, my dream just is like, anyways, and like something completely
I said, don't worry about that.
Yes.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
This happens to me a lot where my dreams will take like 3 or 4 different like story arcs by the time I wake up. And so when I'm trying to explain it in the morning, I'm like, okay, so the dream just like shifted to something else.
When you tell me about your dreams or like before you were writing them down and you were telling me about them, most of the time I'm just listening. Like I'm not going to ask any questions.
I don't know what's going on.
There's no reason to ask for any follow-up.
Honestly,
like you just got to accept it at face value.
Okay, so here's the thing. So the dream shifts and then all of a sudden it's like the pre-planning stage for my best friend's wedding. Even though my best friend has been married for like 9 years, like almost as long as we have.
Okay.
But it's her wedding, and we're running late because of something. So I took her wedding dress and I put it in my car to drive it to our house for the ceremony. I guess the ceremony was at our house. And because I have awful ADHD, forgot that the wedding was happening. So I'm just chilling, just hanging out with Aaron inside of our house. And then my best friend knocks on our back door, like the Arcadia door. Also, keep in mind, we're at our house, but it was like my parents' it was like my childhood home. So like it was like you and I lived there, but it wasn't my parents' home in the dream. It was our home, but it was definitely like that house. I don't know. So I forgot that I'm supposed to be bringing her wedding dress to her wedding, which is apparently at our house. We're just sitting inside chilling. And then she knocks on the back door and is like, bitch, what the fuck?
Rightfully so.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. Just let me have it. And then whatever, we end up getting to this wedding and I apologize profusely. She looks gorgeous. We take all of these photos. Yeah. The wedding happens, whatever. And for some reason, we're like leaving or something. Like all of a sudden, wedding's over and it's just me and my best friend and we're just like hanging around. Except that the dream, all of a sudden, we're not outside. We're not doing a wedding anymore. She and I are underwater, but not in like a swimming sense. Like we can still breathe, but we're underwater. And there's this, I remember this dream very vividly now. There's this big like underwater train thing, but it's not a train. It's like a transportation system. Think like old school, like factory vibes.
Like BioShock?
Sort of.
BioShock takes place underwater. Yeah.
It's almost like
vintage?
Train tracks on like this wall that's underwater, this like rock, like sheer cliff face. There's these train tracks that this thing is like designed to like move across and it carries like big flats of like canned goods and other things. Like big pallets of like canned goods and other stuff, but it's like rusty and old and like very clearly not being used anymore. But we're just like hanging around. We're just like walking around. And then we got lost, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's something about Finding Nemo.
Of course.
With Marlin and Belle getting lost. Marlin got lost.
Like Marlin the fish with the scar.
No. Marlin is the dad.
Oh, Marlin is the dad. What's the guy with the scar?
Gil, my other husband, Gil.
That whole trend of people saying which would they or would they not, or
I know that, like animated characters. Okay, yeah. So Marlin gets lost, and then I get lost and I get separated from my best friend, and I'm now all of a sudden behind this like cooler door that, like, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, you know how you have like the walk-in?
Oh yeah, in the summer I used to go, when I worked at the retirement home, I would go in there and just sit, and I'd take forever to go get the extra food we needed or whatever, and I just... It was so nice.
Yeah. But you know how the walk-in has like a window and all of that?
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah, so I'm locked behind this walk-in door and I can't open it.
Like SpongeBob in that episode where they get in the freezer?
Kind of. But it wasn't like cold because, mind you, all of this is like defunct. It like doesn't work anymore. So this walk-in isn't cold, but I'm just locked in here underwater. And I start to get the distinct impression that I'm going to run out of oxygen somehow and I need to like get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
But then, so like time goes by, I'm freaking the fuck out. And then my friend shows up and she opens the door for me, and then just like swims away, but like so like proficiently, like not like mermaid swims away from me, just like wee, and like fucking flies away like so fast. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself. And so I'm just like,
saved you.
Well, so I'm just like
Not
walking on the ground. No. Like, because the wall that has this like track, this like train track thing on it is like sort of meandering. Like I can't really see where it goes. So I'm just like walking next to this thing for God only knows how long, trying to get the fuck out of here because I'm fucking lost.
I would love if someone was proficient enough to do the animation things.
Yes.
Or they animate
my dreams.
My speech.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so I'm just walking around and then that was the end of my dream. I don't remember what happened after that.
Well, we can only hope that you survived.
I mean, clearly I did. Isn't that stressful?
Like, it's like so fun and stressful.
Yes, but also like fantastical. Like, what was I thinking?
It's like giving like Fantasia or whatever, or Anastasia or whatever that is. But then also like, it's so funny, all the little different pieces that I hear you talking about that I can like hear, because also the like wedding dress thing or whatever. Have we told everyone when we were almost late to your friend's wedding in California because it took us like 18 hours to get there because we got stuck in LA traffic?
No. That was so stressful.
We got to the hotel, ran inside, put our clothes on. I forgot to do something. I forgot to iron something. I took it to the dry cleaner. I took it to the dry
to iron your shirt.
Okay, well, I took it to the dry cleaner, and shame on me for assuming they would iron the white my undershirt.
I guess. I think you took your pants, but you didn't take your shirt because you were like, oh, it's fine.
I didn't take
it out. But then I was like, there's creases in it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I figured you would just steam it.
And this is always how it goes, is we and there was this whole thing, and so it was a big mess. We got it fixed. I'm in the car waiting for you to come because you were still getting done and situated. And we have to drive from the hotel to the wedding, which we're already late for.
Yes.
And so we were like speeding. Thank God we're in California because everybody else is speeding. And then there was a train, and the train tracks.
There was a train.
And we almost missed it, and I just fucking...
into the parking lot, into this very expensive venue,
it was like,
by the way.
We're in like the most beautiful, gorgeous botanical gardens I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, absolutely picturesque.
But
we're sweating.
I wonder like if that's somewhere where you were rushing and forgetting the dress, but then you also getting home and totally forgetting about it is so on brand.
Yes, yeah. But I think also too, sometimes my dreams, like that theme shows up a lot of like me forgetting something or like all of a sudden having the realization that like I didn't do something, and it's because my ADHD makes me so anxious that like I don't trust my own mind to remember things. And so I like constantly, this is why I'm constantly writing stuff down or like why I'm so dependent on Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Because I like, this happened to me a lot in college.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I had a scholarship, thank fuck, to go to college for my undergrad.
Yeah.
And they're like, the only requirement was like your grades, obviously, and all of this stuff. And then you just had to submit paperwork basically, like, you know, proving that you're still going.
I think
your
I
grades
remember this.
and all of this. But of course, you had to submit it like through a fax. You couldn't just like digitally
also,
go
a fax
off.
machine is the most unsecured.
Worst.
Like, so I'm just printing this, I'm sending this document to a machine
God
somewhere
only knows where.
in the middle of a fucking building.
Yes.
With who knows how many people. Like, and I'm
With
just
no
to
assurance.
assume that the right person is going to pick up these facts.
Yeah.
How did anyone get anything done?
Literally.
Before the internet and email?
That's why
I don't understand.
We just filmed main channel content before we sat down to film this podcast.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I said in there was that like we are more productive now than anyone in the past ever has been because of technology. And like,
literally.
I mean that. Like we should take that to heart because like I don't understand how anybody got anything done having to like pen and paper send stuff back.
Like
and
I
forth.
had to mail a check to something sometime, and I was like, well, I hope it gets fucking paid.
Literally. Also, can we talk about how fucking unsecure that is? Like for all of the people, like especially people who are like very insistent that like, you know, online payments are like, you know, not secure or safe. And like, obviously there's fraud.
There's
and,
risk with everything.
There's definitely like risk that happens there.
Yeah.
But like the idea of mailing a check that has my account and routing number on the bottom of it and just like, fingers crossed, nobody opens this envelope. Like, hello?
Hope everyone's trustworthy.
What? That's not safe at all.
Not me. Could not be me.
Literally,
I'd be like, I will drive hours
about?
before I send a piece of mail.
Yes.
That's not true. But
still.
I don't feel good about it.
No, exactly. I used to think that all the time at my internship too, because big like community mental health agencies and stuff use faxes a fair amount, and like the idea that we're just faxing somebody's private health information and just
across
like
a beep, boop, beep,
Scout's honor that nobody's gonna fucking touch it, or
me?
like that's actually wild
insane.
to me. I just don't understand.
They made do with what they had at the time, but also speaking of fantastical and dreams and stuff, I just want to share I think I've realized my new ADHD, possibly autistic ability is the ability to spot actors in other roles.
Oh yeah.
We were watching The Hobbit, the second one, The Desolation of Smaug. In the beginning, when they go to the little shack with Bjorn. Bjorn. No, not Bree. No, remember they go to the shack with the shapeshifter guy.
Oh yes, the skin shifter or whatever.
And I was like, he starts talking, and I said, no fucking way. I said, babe, pause it right now. And I pull up YouTube, or I pull up Google, and I just Googled the actor. Yeah. Sure as fuck enough, it was Jakob from fucking Sex Education. And he is covered in face makeup. He is unrecognizable. To the normal human eye, but not to this eye.
But also, you did that with Wes.
Oh
from
yeah,
How to Get Away with Murder. Because he was in Harry Potter.
He was literally in a background shot in the second movie. He was in like every film. He was in the background shot. I think he probably says like 20 words the whole series.
And you were like, pause the movie.
That's him. I know that man.
What?
No, like
genuinely, I feel like if anybody ever tried to like pull the wool over your eyes or like commit a crime against you, that like you would be the most reliable person in like picking someone out of a lineup, because you'd be like, I know that bitch.
Names, forget about it.
I know their facial structure.
Drum patterns and people's voices and faces. Like, I got it. Anything else important? Locked in. Forget it. If you told me something 5 minutes ago, assume I've already forgotten
Isn't it funny how our memory works like that?
Oh, mine is so fucking awful.
But also like it's kind of fancy or like fantastical in a way that like we can remember like such odd minute details, like that dream, like that, or that memory from when I was a little kid. But like if you ask me like what the most 5 recent emails are in my inbox, I have no clue.
Literally none.
I have no idea.
I feel like that way too. I know this isn't just me, but like when you drive to work, sometimes I get to work and I'm like, how did I get here? Like my brain is like, I am turning this off.
Yes. We are not consciously aware of that.
So question, when you were in school and you had to recall information from textbooks and stuff, how does your brain, so like for me, I can see like sometimes if I can't get it quite right, I can see the page number and the like block of text around what I need, especially if it's like a phrase or a word, and I can like remember where on the page it is.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that fucking weird?
That's not how my memory works at all.
Mine is like, what's the most...
You remember in like pictures, huh?
I totally remember in pictures.
Oh, that's really odd. Maybe that's why you're so good with faces. Because I remember that like... Somebody asked me this the other day. This is why I get stuck with words. Like so many of the outcuts on our videos are me burping, but also me like not being able to find the right word. Yeah, and I like do this.
You gotta search your.
But it's because words are like they have a texture to me. There's like a feeling to them.
Oh wow!
And that's why like if a word starts with like TR and I'm like looking for like I don't know the word traction for example, I'll get lost and like be like torsion, tractor. Like, it's like close, but I'm like, no, it's like not the right feeling. Yeah. And that's why it's like so, isn't that weird?
That's so funny. Yeah. Now when you're doing this, you're like, actually, you're like physically looking for the word.
Like trying to find the right texture.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
For the word. Isn't that fascinating how like brains remember stuff in like such a different way?
Oh, absolutely.
Because people would say that to me all the time in college too, that like, because I don't take notes. And people would be really pissy with me. Even when I was in high school, people were so fucking mean to me.
People are very judgmental because you do a lot of things, you have a unique way of doing things.
I have such a vivid memory of I was in middle school at the time.
Okay.
And I didn't take notes because I don't need them. It doesn't help me. That's my brain moves so much faster than my stupid little hands can. And my handwriting's awful. So even if I did take notes,
you're like, I don't even know what I wrote.
This is useless to me. So I'm much better served by just like
paying attention.
Yeah. Trying to like really clock in and like pay attention to what's going on. And so I wasn't taking notes, and I had this teacher who tried to like catch me not paying attention.
Which one? Oh, I wouldn't know. I didn't go.
Yeah, but it was a teacher who was friends with my mom because my mom worked at my elementary school.
Love that for you.
And they were like, Mickey, what was like X, Y, and Z? It was like some vocabulary word or whatever. And just like offhandedly not paying attention, I like regurgitated the thing, and I just heard her go, anyway, and like move on.
Oh God, it's so good.
It's so satisfying because I was like, gotcha, bitch. Like I am paying
Mind
attention.
your own business.
I'm just neurodivergent. I just didn't know it at the time.
I know. I wish we could go back. You probably could have gotten so many more resources.
Yes.
You weren't actually a gifted person. You were just.
I am gifted. I am a gifted
All right, type
child.
A. All right, straight A student. Calm down.
No, but for real, I think like our education probably would have looked so different if they had given us like resources and time to like be little weirdos, or like if I had just had a fidget toy, honestly. If somebody would have let me play with something with my hands, I probably would have been a lot more focused.
I remember, like, this is so wild, because I remember this kid, I remember his name so vividly. I remember him and his mannerisms and the way that he was. And it was like it was very clear, like everyone knew that he was being medicated for ADHD.
Yeah.
But like he was like so not given the resources to like succeed and stuff. And like
they treat you like you're a problem.
Oh my gosh. Like I can't.
Like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. No wonder us, like, and especially me too, like internalizing like, oh God, if you act like that, then like you're all wrong.
Good. Yeah.
No wonder now as an adult, I'm like fucking figuring it out.
Yes, there's something wrong with you. Which is also wild too to think, because like, you know, people, I think, especially like Gen Z and like even Gen Alpha kids, I guess, because they're like old enough to be like people now.
Walked so that
like they're not aware that like ADHD was like not a thing.
Oh, it was like you're gonna catch it. Like stay like other kids don't hang out with that kid.
But also if you did have ADHD, that like obviously this kid is heavily medicated.
Oh yeah,
it was almost like the same energy that people had in like the 50s and 60s for people that ended up in like institutions.
Yeah,
right. That like there must be something deeply wrong with you, and like no, like literally no,
honestly,
you know, like there's really not that. It's also not that difficult to provide accommodations for ADHD. That like obviously we know that now, but I remember at the time thinking like, oh, these kids with ADHD must need so much.
They're unhelpful.
Yeah, they must need so many different, and like literally they probably just needed some sensory input and some space to like wild out every now and again.
And to like validate, yes,
like, and to like not be confined to a fucking chair. That was also. Did you get yelled at for doing the chair leaning?
Like leaning back?
Mm-hmm. Like leaning back in your chair?
From what I remember, a lot of our desks were like the ones with the chairs are like built in. You know, you have like the L. You know, like the L.
Even when you were little? Like when you were in...
No, I guess not. I don't think I'd leaned a lot in my chair. I mean, maybe like a small amount. Not enough to be like a...
Yeah, you were like the golden child, though,
That's true,
to be fair.
Always.
Yeah. I got yelled at for leaning in my chair a lot. They would always tell me that story about like, you know, some kid did this
Fell
once
back
and
he
cracked his head open. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
I always wonder about so many of those stories. Like, did something actually happen, or is this just an old wives' tale?
I wonder that
old teacher's tale.
Yes. Are y'all just making this up?
If anyone's a teacher out there, are you sharing mistruths?
I'm literally about to text my best friend because she's a high school teacher.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
are y'all just making shit up?
Are you saying this? Are you just saying this to keep them scared? Like
Tell the truth.
Like Elf on a shelf. Are you elf and shelving these kids?
It really is like high school Elf on a Shelf.
I know, honestly.
1,000%. That's really funny. I didn't make that connection until now.
I just did that. That's what I'm here for. to put stuff together that doesn't make any sense.
We sort of rabbit trailed from the dream thing.
I mean, it's all in the same. Tell us another dream. Tell us another story.
You want me to tell you another dream? Do you have any dreams? Do you have any?
I don't normally write down my dreams. I have like normally they're pretty vivid. Mm-hmm. I remember the most recent one I had was we were all sitting at a table and Paige and Chris from Married at First Sight were there for some reason. And then Chris came in late, of course with another woman. And I'm in my not give a shit or whatever. And I think I was just kind of like, being a shit. And I was like, this woman came in and he was like trying to like get back with Paige again or whatever. And I was like, Chris, be so for real. I was like, you two are fucking, right? And the other woman was like, no.
Oh my God.
And I was like, but aren't you really? And she just like stood there for a second.
You're a shitster in your dreams
Always through and through. And I don't know why with that TikTok sound, she's like, you ever had a Krispy Kreme that's crispy? And I just went, yeah.
Wait, you said that?
I didn't say the Krispy Kreme thing, but I just went, yeah. And I think I said something to Paige. I was just like, there's no help here. I was like, go off, dude. Like, reap what you sow.
Oh my God. Obviously, that was while we were watching that season.
No, it was like a week ago. It came back.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what. Something must have
happened.
happened.
Wow, you really have strong feelings about Chris and Paige.
I don't think I really do, but like I think that was my brain dumping it.
Yeah.
I think it was
actually that's a good point.
It was like, so your dreams are kind of like, they're like waste. You're like shitting. I'm like shitting in my brain.
Yeah.
Out the bad.
Output.
Yeah, so I could put more stuff in there probably.
Yeah. No, it really is like wiping the slate clean. I think that makes sense.
I like to think of it like
That's
a toilet.
really
like
funny.
I'm putting my experiences and memories and stuff in a little toilet and then
Gross.
Gross.
Maybe it's more like an Etch-a-Sketch.
I love that.
You're
just like shook up all the time.
Shaking up your brain.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, tell me another dream of
I'm
yours.
looking.
Pick a good one.
I am. Oh, okay. This one's fucked up.
Oh, that's how it. Let's hear it.
It's not
fucked up in a fun
but
way.
It's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me read this really quick. Oh my God.
Read it to us. Don't read it anymore. Go on blind with us.
Okay.
This
one was from September 15th.
Okay. Is there anything significant of that?
No.
day?
No.
Okay.
Just level setting the time. Okay. So this was a bad dream. That we made friends at a work event for Aaron.
Gross.
And then we were converted to a part of a cult. But
Us in a cult?
yeah. Like we met these friends of yours from work that you like tertiarily knew.
Okay.
But like in wanting to make more friends, we decided to just like
Say,
sort of
"Fuck
yes
it."
man whatever these people were saying, and then we ended up getting recruited into a cult
That's how it always happens.
on accident.
We just wanted more friends, and now you're in a cult.
Yes, but this is so funny. This is like such a child of the 90s thing.
Okay.
I drove us home. I was the one who's driving us, but I forgot to turn the dome light off in the car,
Oh,
which, as we
fuck.
all
Did we get
know,
pulled
is
over?
illegal and
You
will
cannot
cause
drive.
a car
Don't drive with the dome light on. You'll die.
That's not actually true. That's just a thing that our parents would yell at us
It couldn't
about
be
when we were
just
kids.
us.
No. But I forgot to turn the light off in the car and put the car in park. So in a panic the next morning, I got up to make sure that the battery was okay, but I accidentally launched the car through the garage door because the car's not in park for some reason. It didn't move all night while it wasn't in park. But I get in the car in the morning because we're all discombobulated by joining a cult, and I accidentally launched the car through the garage door and I ripped off a huge rectangle chunk. Thankfully, I swerved in time, but the door was still fucked. And then I read an online review saying that Hyundai Ioniqs, which is the car that we have, are worthless after they get in one accident. And I told you.
Oh, they're like Pyrex.
Yeah, I told you about that. And you were like, fuck, our car is fucking ruined. And that was the dream.
Oh,
That's it.
It's ruined. It's Pyrex. All cars are Pyrex.
Yeah.
You get one drop.
Our car is a Corel dish. It's just ruined now.
I'm just
forever.
waiting for one more.
Yeah.
One more little tink.
Sometimes they're just short little weird dreams.
Oh my God.
Isn't that bizarre?
I love that one. I want another one, please.
Like, well, okay.
Tell me another story.
Okay. All right.
That one was a nightmare?
No, well, yeah, I guess technically that's I mean, joining a cult's kind of alarming, no?
Yeah, but the dream didn't revolve around us being in the cult, though. We just made a
Fair.
bad decision.
Okay, this one is a little bit stressful. If you have weird feelings about the ocean, like open water, not for you. Just to be
Mickey
clear.
has such strong feelings about the open water.
It stresses me, Pumpkin.
That's fair.
It stresses me deeply.
That's fair.
The idea that I'm just in this large, boundless body of water that I have no control over it makes me want to puke.
I want that on a t-shirt. I don't know how you make that sound, but
It's awful. Anyways, okay. So this dream was the next day, actually, September 16th. We were on a cruise that was super unsteady and the boat was rocking all over the place. And at one point, the top of the boat sank under the water, but they said that that's normal. And that's what you do when you float out in the middle of the ocean. And that's why you can't go out on deck for certain times of the day. The lady that I was with said that the waves haven't been this bad since 2008. I don't know if that's like a callback to the
crisis. Wow, babe, that was a deep cut.
I don't know. But she said they were like this every day in 2008. And at some point, we're trying to get off of this cruise ship and onto this like platform.
Oh, I've heard this
that's floating in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, God.
And
Strap in, everyone.
The lady that is with me is trying to help me jump across this series of platforms so that I can get to and from the ship, which also apparently this is very normal behavior.
Also, they're spinning, aren't they?
Yes.
So, like, we have a
So we're like rocking on the
like
ocean.
The challenge from It Takes Two where they're spinning.
Yes.
Yeah. The big
but also
tops.
like Survivor when they're on these like floating things in the water where they're like rocking back and forth. But
all
this
of your
thing's
favorite
spinning
things, a dexterity
also.
check.
Yeah, and then you
the
have
ocean,
to jump from
and
platform
jumping
to platform. And also it's raining at this point.
Why
so
would it not be?
The platforms are wet. There's water fucking everywhere.
You need your little gear, your little frog gear from Zelda.
Frog, you're terrible.
I feel like that's where your brain's pulling this from, though, is when you can't climb on slippery surfaces.
Honestly. Okay, so at one point at the start of the storm, I was headed at the start of this dream. Okay, so then there's a different part of this dream. This is the thing where the dream's like all of a sudden different. I am headed into this giant gymnasium to watch a basketball game, but I didn't have a face mask. And so I was like, I need a face mask. So I had to go to Walgreens to go buy one. And I bought like a stadium seat because I was like, my butt's going to hurt sitting in this game. So I was almost late.
Of course, the Walgreens has both.
Yes. I was almost late because I had to buy a face mask and a stadium seat. But then I made it. And then I make it back into the gymnasium. And then all of a sudden I'm back on the cruise ship again. No rhyme or reason for why I was watching a basketball.
Did you make it off the platforms okay?
Nope. So on our way back to the ship, we're jumping across these platforms, right? And they're spinning and they're scary and it's windy and like raining. And it's also like really loud. And they said that if you're the last person, that they make sure to never let go of you because they had like an issue with the last person that they tried to get on the boat falling off. And so now it's like a thing that the crew will never like let go of your hand so that nobody dies, which I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love that.
So good. So good.
So there's a system for getting, oh, that's terrible. I'm not reading that out loud. Okay, yeah, but all of this is super scary. And so as I'm stepping up to the platform, I see under the water, there's the water underneath me turns bright red, but not like a flash of light. It was like a big fish probably ate something under the water and it like blooms up underneath there. And I was like, oh no, we got to get the fuck out of here. 'Cause obviously that's terrifying.
Do you know how high up you think this probably is in your dream?
What do you mean?
These platforms.
Oh, they're like flat. Like if you put your foot off of the platform, you're in the water.
Oh, okay.
So I see the water around me turn red because like a shark just ate something underneath us. And I'm like, we gotta go, man. That's not gonna be me. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Okay, so the boat's slippy and scary. But we round the corner and I jump across this platform and then I made it back onto the boat and then that's all that I remember.
Oh, well, at least we know you were safe.
Yeah. I made sure to write down ancillary details about how the platforms were in the open ocean with no nets or safety nets. So if we fell off, we would have died. There was someone in a speedboat thing monitoring stuff, but it was still literally just open ocean. Oh, and then there's this other part of the dream, completely different day. This is no longer scary. It's like cool, happy, fun times. It's bright. It's shiny. It's like cool, sunshiny. And we're doing like a survivor challenge in the ocean. We're like swimming, but you were doing great. And I was just like, just struggling, all the way deep at the back. And you were like swimming like a little mermaid. I'm realizing that a lot of my dreams have something to do with not being a very strong swimmer. And I'm wondering if maybe I should take swimming lessons.
You know how to swim though.
Yeah.
Also, I'm curious how you're gonna.
The water stress.
I'm curious how you're gonna swim now.
I'm
you don't
nervous
have your built-in
about
flotation
it.
devices.
I know. I was joking about that with Hannah.
You're gonna have to try a lot
legitimately,
harder.
I think my boobs made me float easier. But now I'm gonna have to actually swim, which sucks. I used to be able to just sort of bob around
like broccoli.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to actually learn how to tread water, I think.
I think you are.
Do you know how to tread water?
Yeah, kind of. It's not very pretty, but I don't think anyone looks pretty treading water.
That TikTok that I saw about that woman who had an ick about her partner with his feet. Yeah, now I'm like,
I'll just drown.
That's terrible.
I'd rather look good going down, you know?
Okay, I don't think I need to expose myself with any more of my weird dreams. Do you have any takeaways from my dreams?
I think I love that you pull in so many fantastical elements from all of the media you consume and stuff.
You don't have to rate them.
I think it's.
I'm not asking for compliments.
I think you're doing a really good job. I think there's some area for growth, but I think overall I wouldn't change what you're doing.
Opportunities for growth.
Yeah, I would keep.
I'll make sure to tell my subconscious that.
I would say as of right now, you're a productive and valued member of this business.
Thank you.
And company.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to talking with you more at our next performance review.
Me too. Thanks. Also, I did just remember something actually because you started using your little legalese. We have an announcement.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I want you guys to know that I filmed a whole 10-minute rant and I'm going to delete it because it was awfully mean. And I was right. Everything I said was correct. And I know you guys would love to hear that.
Yeah,
but Mickey will do the talking on this.
Yeah. So basically, the situation is as follows. We are going to rebrand the podcast name. Nothing about the podcast, format or structure is changing. It's functionally exactly the same. It's just that the name and the logo are going to be slightly different because we had a bit of a problem.
To be clear, it's not a problem, but
we got an email. It's not BetterHelp, to be clear. Nobody's suing me this time.
Oh, I wish it
God.
was.
But
let them.
We are changing the name out of respect for another entity that's kindly asked us to do so. We're doing that.
This is why Mickey's the boss, and Aaron. This is the Key and Peele skit where you're Obama and I'm his actual monologue.
Yeah, I'm being a professional and I'm putting on my professional hat. And so we're just rebranding the podcast ever so slightly. Again, nothing about the actual content or functionally is going to change. Not that we could if we tried, but the name will be a little different. So just a heads up that's coming. If you see that change, that's why.
And the thing that I take solace in is that I know you guys will love us and love the podcast all the same. And we appreciate you that and the flexibility that has given us to... I just had a little squeakers. Did you hear my little squeaker?
Did you? Went, no.
Hey. But anyways, no, we appreciate... I appreciate you guys. Because I know no matter what this thing is called, we could call it Shitty Poo Poo Fun Times. And
please don't give them any ideas because now they're going to ask
the guy with the shirts. I want a shirt.
Also, I want you to know that I'm working on making the face shirts. We're going to turn those into real merch.
Do you guys just want the shirt? I'm about to give away that one because I got a women's cut.
We have a bunch of other shirts to give away.
We do need to do a giveaway, honestly.
Yeah, it's just because we can't host a giveaway on some of our platforms that are like lotteries and.
But Discord, we definitely could, right?
No, Discord, we could. I just need to download the bot so that it will auto choose people. But so we're doing that. Regardless, thank you guys because we love you. We know that you guys support the pod.
You guys are our favorites.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week for another episode.
Share some of your dreams with us if you want.
Yes, please make me feel less alone. I did try to cajole Aaron into writing down his dreams for this episode, but he was like, I just don't really remember anything.
When I wake up in the morning, brain empty, I just know move forward.
Also, to be fair, you are the one who has to take care of the pets in the morning because they do not leave you alone.
No.
But I will sleep through an earthquake. So
must that be so nice?
They don't bother me, so I have the luxury of dream journaling in the morning, and you don't necessarily. So, but yeah, please share your dreams with us in the comments. Tell me that you also have unhinged dreams that reveal your deepest anxieties.
Because it will make Mickey feel better.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you for the next episode. If you want to support the show, you can like the episodes, you can subscribe, all of those things. And also, if you join the channel memberships, you can get early access to the episodes. So you could do that. So thanks.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll see you next week.
Bye. Excellent. That was fun.